commercial capital. This is the News at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ondo.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, collation of results underway as residents of Ondo State head to the polls to vote for their next governor. The Chief of Defense Staff and National Security Advisor hand over the 58 rescued victims of kidnapping to the Kaduna State government in Abuja. And the curtains are finally raised with music, dance and acting as the Lagos International Theatre Festival takes center stage. On sports news tonight, Taylor Fritz becomes the first American since 2006 to reach the title match at the ATP Finals after defeating Alexander Zverev 6-3, 3-6, 7-6 in the semis.
And on business news, Nigeria's FX reserve maintained upward trend as level increases to $40.24 billion.
We begin tonight in Ondo State, where residents have taken to the polls to elect the next governor of the state. It's an off-cycle election with over 2 million registered voters and 1.7 million permanent voter cards collected, another 295,856 uncollected. The voters exercised their franchise across 3,933 polling units spread over the 18 local government areas of Ondo State. In the riverine communities of Ondo South Senatorial District, the governorship election was peaceful. It had a significant turnout of voters. Despite the challenging terrain, residents came out in their numbers, eager to exercise their civic responsibility. But the process was largely smooth, with INEC officials and security personnel ensuring a calm and orderly exercise. Our correspondent, Itope Kutei, who has monitored the area, has this report.
As early as 6 a.m., we begin the monitoring of the Ondo State governorship election. Our journey in the coverage of the Ondo State governorship election took us to the heart of Ondo State riverine communities, specifically in the Ondo South Senatorial District. Our first port of call is polling unit 006 Isowa Street, Igbodigo, in Okitimupa local government area. As of 8 a.m., INEC officials are already on ground and voters came up and waiting for the commencement of their accreditation by 8:30 a.m. Thereafter, we proceed deeper, this time in Igbonla riverine community, where we are to take a boat for 20 minutes to another riverine community, precisely Obenla, the country home of the APC governorship candidates. The election here is going on peacefully, and the interest of voters looking quite impressive. Voters in this community commend INEC for being timely and said the presence of security operatives is also a confidence booster.
The conduct has been very peaceful and it's been very seamless. That is one of the beautiful things that I've seen so far, especially in my units and the unit beside my unit. You know, it's a beautiful thing to see the people of Ondo State come out to conduct themselves properly and perform their civic duty.
I'll rate INEC, I think 8/10 so far. Everything has been going well. The security has been amazing. There are a lot of security officers everywhere, and everybody is feeling, I think I'm feeling secure, so I think everybody is feeling secure as well.
The process has been smooth, adding the network challenges in the area slow down the beavers machine.
It's okay, they are calm, but the only problem we have is the beavers. It's not fast, it's very slow. To get the network is very, it's not easy for us. We have to be moving here and there to get the network. That is the problem. That is the only problem we are facing.
in one of the riverine communities in Ondo State, Obenla community to be precise. The governorship election has been conducted peacefully, and voters have conducted themselves in an orderly manner, coming out in their numbers to exercise their civic responsibility. INEC has also worked efficiently, and the presence of security operatives has ensured a peaceful and violence-free election in this part of the state. Residents are satisfied with the conduct of the election, hoping that their voices will reflect in the final outcome of the election. From Obenla community in Ilaje local government area of Ondo State, Eyitokwa for Channels Television News.
The Ondo governorship election, which began in the wee hours of the day with the deployment of materials by INEC ad hoc staff, finally came to an end with collation of results. Our next report captures the mood in Ondo State, reactions of voters, and the overall conduct of this exercise. Our correspondent, Dari Du, reports.
The long-anticipated day is here, and it began quite early for everyone involved. Across the state, major streets, roads and corners were under strict watch by various security agents enforcing movement restrictions to ensure a smooth process. Polling units were scheduled to open by 8:30 a.m. and from our observations, most officials kept to this timing.
I would say that so far things have gone very well. The polling units have opened on time, and people are voting. I've not received any negative reports from the other areas because I'm following them. We have a platform that I'm following what's happening. I've seen pictures and videos. I've actually posted some of them online. I'm speaking with my with the staff.
In Ondo local government area, where the early voters were predominantly elderly citizens, the scorching sun forced INEC ad hoc officials to relocate the voting point to a shaded area to provide some respite. The candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC arrived at this polling unit in Ilaje local government area. He speaks about the process.
The assessment so far, the area has been peaceful from the information at my disposal, but judging from what is happening here, the area is peaceful. The people are generally exercising their freedom and franchise by casting their votes peacefully. And I want to believe that this is what is happening in other parts of the state. For INEC, they've been very transparent with the whole process. I went through the process myself. My card was brought out for screening, accreditation before I was given the ballot paper and I casted my vote.
At exactly 10:45 a.m., the candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Agbola Ajayi, arrived at this polling unit. Is clearly not pleased with the process.
And a lot of complaints here and there. If INEC cannot successfully organize election in one state, just one state, then you must know that we are running to anarchy. I don't know what is happening in other places, but here it's peaceful to some extent.
In Akoko, the candidate of the Labour Party voted and seized the opportunity to share his immediate impressions of the voting process.
So far, so good. It's seamless, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, so far, so good. The process is good to go. It's perfect. I can see the turnout is fair enough. Yeah. My message is that power belongs to God, and He gives it to whoever He wants. And therefore, everybody should conduct themselves in a very peaceful manner. And at the end of the day, whoever wins this election should be congratulated.
By 2:30 p.m., voting officially ended, paving the way for the next crucial steps in the process, sorting and counting. Then, the transfer of results from the Beavers to the IRE portal.
We are through with the program, but just to upload the results.
With attention now shifting to collation centers at various levels, the people of Ondo State can only wait for the outcome of an election that holds significant implication for the state's future. Dari Ito, Channels Television News.
Staying with the Ondo governorship polls, and the police has given a satisfactory assessment of the security personnel who policed today's election. The statement issued by the head press and public relations of the Police Service Commission, Mr. Ikechukwu Ani, says the commission staff monitored reports and it showed that the security men, especially the police, arrived voting centers on time and they were live at their constitutional responsibilities of securing the election space. According to that statement, commission monitors said the police officers were polite, civil, but firm in the conduct of their electoral duties. Mr. Ani, however, adds that there were reports of pockets of vote buying in some voting centers, which the PSC says has become a recurring decimal in elections in Nigeria. In the meantime, one civil society group has monitored the Ondo election governorship, the Ondo state governorship election, and has described the process as largely peaceful and orderly. According to the group, although there were some cases of attempted vote buying, that did not cast a dark cloud on the outcome of the exercise.
So far, the process is commendable. We went round. We've seen the level of effort that INEC has put in with respect to coordination. The logistics, though there are challenges, but it's commendable. The setup was okay. We've seen voting. Voting was okay, except for a few areas where there were skirmishes associated with thugs. And these are also issues that are linked to the desperation of political parties and politicians.
In majority of polling units, we saw that vote buying has been rampant, and it went as high as 20,000 in so many places. And it shows clearly that the politicians, in spite of whatever is being done to improve the electoral process, are the ones that try, even in elections that they will probably win, will even do things that are against the law. And more importantly, we want to be very clear that the issue of vote buying is unacceptable, it should be condemned, and that the security agents must do the needful to ensure that that nefarious activity that looks like it has come to stay is nipped in the bud. But across board, election has been peaceful, the process has been peaceful so far. But we are going to deploy our observers, Yaga observers, to the collation centers, and we hope that the way the early morning processes went, that the collation will also, and result management process will also be this good.
In part two, after the break, our political editor, Seun Okibaloye, will be bringing us up to speed on the current status of the Ondo governorship election. Plus, the curtains are finally raised with music, dance and acting as the Lagos International Theatre Festival takes center stage. Please join us again. Back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. Collation of results underway as residents of Ondo State take to the polls to vote for the next governor of the state. The Chief of Defense Staff and National Security Advisor hands over 58 rescued victims of kidnapping to the Kaduna State government in Abuja. And the curtains are finally raised with music, dance and acting as the Lagos International Theatre Festival takes center stage. We continue now with the governorship election in Ondo State, and our political editor, Seun Okibaloye, is live at the INEC State Collation Center to bring us up to speed on the status of that election. Hello, Seun.
Hi, how are you? And welcome to the Ondo governorship election state collation center here in the state capital, Akure. And of course, you can see behind me the microphones from literally every major television and media organization in the country trying to get their cameras and get their microphones to capture all the sights and the sounds of the result announcement. But that has not commenced just yet, because INEC will be coming out to give us exactly when the exercise will commence. But let's get a sense of what this means for INEC, when the exercise will commence, and what Nigerians should expect as far as this election is concerned. I'm being joined on the news at 10 tonight by Professor Kunle Ajayi, who is a national commissioner for INEC and one of the coordinator for this election. Is live for us right here. Thanks, Prof, for joining us on the news at 10.
Good evening, Phil.
Yeah, give us an update on the status of the collation of the result. When should we be expecting, or when will the collation start?
By exactly 11 p.m. this evening, we are going to start the state collation. And when we start, it will be a marathon. It will not be a matter of you release 3, you go on break, you come back. No, once we start, until we release, until we make we declare the winner, we won't be fair. So it will be a marathon.
So you will begin tonight at 11 p.m.
Starting at 11, and until we release, until we make the final pronouncement of the winner, we won't be fair.
So how many results from the local governments do you have now?
Yes, sir. As at about 30 minutes ago, 7 local governments have completed their collation, and they are already on ground. And maybe before 12 midnight, more than half of the results will have been in. But I can assure you, until we declare the winner, we will not leave here. We will wait till the last local government before we leave, and we make a pronouncement.
So there are those who think that there are some issues in terms of the transportation of the result and the officials from those had to reach local government areas. What are you hearing from them? That could delay the process of the announcement of result, isn't it?
Yes, as I told you yesterday, there are local governments that are so far away. For instance, one of them is about 190 kilometers to Akure, and across the ocean, across the river. So we have to wait. There are some with difficult terrains that I told you we have to a kind of relay. Vehicles getting to a point, motorbikes taking over. And when they are returning, it will be that chain again. They will come, motorbikes will take the result from them, then they will join a vehicle, then will come to Akure here. So I don't have any fear that by 6 a.m. maybe everything would have been over.
So give us, you were very certain that this election will go without any logistical or operational issues. But there are a few issues that people have raised. How do you react to some of these issues?
What are those issues?
For example, the candidate of the PDP said there are issues relating to the delay in the performance of the beavers.
Yeah, our beavers performed 100% optimally. But in the case of the candidate of PDP, when we took the picture earlier, when we captured him earlier, it was him alone, nobody behind him. But when he went to the polling booth, there were crowds following him. And by the time you place the beavers will be seeing so many faces, we could be confused. So until they were able to separate him a bit from the crowd following him, it was then the thing capturing him. So there was nothing wrong with our beavers. It performed 100% all over the state,
the glitches that were noticed, for example, in not recognizing, and not only the PDP candidate, even some civil society organization had said beavers in some areas had difficulties.
Then you have to take it, we depend on internet, the global internet, the global network. So network will fail at times. Okay? Even yesterday, when you were trying to play a video clip, the thing went off. We waited for 10 minutes. The thing come up. So that is the problem of machine. So because of network, there could be a delay. But eventually, nobody I'm repeating it. Nobody went to the polling unit today and was not captured and that did not vote. Nobody in Ondo State. Nobody.
Give us an understanding of the kind of skirmish and some of the issues we saw in Idonre area that are being reported. What is the update and what are the details that you have?
We had violent cases in Idonre, and the reasons could be very clear to all of us. When APC chairman, state APC chairman is from Idonre. PDP deputy governorship candidate is from Idonre. So, two forces in the same town. So, ordinarily, you will expect some tension. So, that was what happened. And the third factor, which, from my investigation, the third factor is that I was told that Idonre is historically violent when it comes to election. Historically, it could be true, it could be valid, it could be invalid. But I was told that. But the two factors that were so clear to us were that when APC chairman for the state is from Idonre, the same time PDP deputy governorship candidate is from Idonre. So we have two balanced forces in the town. So automatically the town will be divided. Some supporting the APC chairman, some supporting the deputy governorship candidate. So I think that's why we had the problem there. But eventually we were able to resolve.
Give us an understanding the issue of vote buying.
Yes.
A few arrests were made. Has it come to the notice of INEC?
Yes, our dashboard recorded that. But as I told you yesterday, that the issue of vote buying is beyond INEC. The vote buying issue is for the police to manage, the EFCC to manage, the ICPC to manage. We don't have power of arrest. We don't have power of prosecution. We don't have those powers. So there are divisions of responsibilities as far as this election is concerned. The security forces are in charge of security and arresting vote buying, arresting vote buyers, arresting vote sellers, and so on. So it's beyond INEC. Just take it from us. It's beyond INEC. But I need to say that the issue of vote buying is no longer a Nigerian issue. Even the recent American election, we heard that somebody said that we'll be giving them 1 million every day. That is vote buying. But you have to find a way of curing it so that to sanitize our democratic system, we have to find a way of curing it. We have to give credibility to our democratic system.
Let me ask you, just about 98% of the result have been turned into the IREF. Why the delay in about 2%?
98% have been recorded. But as I told you, network will be an issue. Network. We all use the same network. INEC hasn't got its own network. So we are using the old network. 200 million people, we are using the same network. So at times, it could be problem of network. Sending it, bouncing back, sending it, bouncing back. Even at our own individual level, we do send messages and it will bounce back. But remaining just 2%, we can't do any mago with the 2%. It's not possible.
Give us an understanding about this, how INEC sees this exercise. Do you think that this is a progress for you as a commission, comparing it to Edo governorship election, which happened a few weeks ago?
Ondo State will be a different ball game, and you witness it that it was a different ball game. This election today was a cleaner election. I told you that yesterday. There was no basis of comparing us with Edo. Every election has its own uniqueness. Our own uniqueness here is clean election, which everybody has agreed to. Even the observers, they say this is almost the best election. I told you yesterday we are going to perform far better than what happened in Edo, and you have seen it. And I think you have to congratulate me for that.
So INEC is happy with this. You think you performed well?
Yes, we performed well, wonderfully well, and I'm proud of myself being a member of the commission.
Professor Okunle Ajayi, thank you so much indeed. It's good to have you on the news at 10. Professor.
Collation at 11, and it will be a marathon till the following morning. Until we announce the result, nobody is leaving this place.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Professor Okunle Ajayi, who is the National Commissioner for INEC coordinating this election. Of course, you see journalists who are seated right here. But one thing, it's going to be a waiting game behind me. I sit here, I'm waiting for the officials that will be able to coordinate the exercise. And so far, waiting game, but yet we have our eyes on the collation from the local government areas. We do know that about 7 of the local government area results have arrived at the INEC headquarters here in Akure. So we'll be waiting to bring you up to speed. And that's it, Anne.
All right, Sheil, thank you very much. We'll definitely be keeping our eyes on that election and results as they come. 2 other stories now, but still on electoral matters, this time in Ogun State. Late arrival of election materials, among other logistics, largely characterized elections in 20 local government areas of Ogun State to fill chairmanship seats and 236 councillorship seats. This caused serious delay as the exercise commenced about 3 hours behind the stipulated time of 8:30 a.m. Governor Dapo Abiodun, who voted in Ikenne local government area of the state, commended the peaceful conduct of the exercise.
I want to first appreciate the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission for their level of preparedness for this election. The feedback I have gotten is that they have been very thorough, they have been very diligent. In any election, you can't rule out maybe some logistics hiccups. Next, I want to commend our law enforcement architecture. I have seen the presence of men and women of the Nigerian police force. I've seen the presence of men and women of the Civil Defense Corps. I've seen the presence of Motekun. I've seen the presence of the State Department of Security Services, and I want to thank them for working collaboratively to ensure that indeed we have a peaceful elections today.
From Ogun to Zamfara State, where local government elections witnessed a low voter turnout. Low residents largely went about their regular activities despite the polling exercise today. The election was organized by the Zamfara Independent Electoral Commission to elect new chairmen and councillors for the 14 local government councils in Zamfara State.
Polling units opened on Saturday morning for the conduct of the local government elections across Zamfara State. However, the enthusiasm appeared low among residents as the exercise recorded low turnout in most of the polling units visited by Channel's television correspondent. In Gusau, the state capital, business activities operated as usual as residents went about their routine activities.
I'm not aware of the elections. How can I go and vote? I'm not even had any information from any radio or newspaper about the election up to now.
Nevertheless, the exercise did not witness any incidents as those who were willing to participate in the process exercised their franchise.
The election is almost going to become peacefully because the election has already been going on now and there is a peaceful atmosphere. Voters are conducting themselves well, electorates are coming, voting, going. No disturbance, no hindrance.
Fundamentally, I can see a change of attitude. I can also see how the election materials have been provided much earlier than the time. So we say a very good gesture courtesy of His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawal.
Governor Dauda Lawal and his wife cast their ballots at the polling unit 012 Madawaki under Galadima Ward in Gusau, the state capital. The governor commends the process and the voters for participating in the exercise.
When I came in, everything was orderly, and it's still very orderly. I've casted my vote. My wife also has casted her vote, so we're good to go. I'm always an advocate of very peaceful election, and I also appeal to everyone to be peaceful so that this process will go smooth.
I feel we have done our part, and we hope for the best. They should be patient. Zamfara will be on top, inshallah, with the leadership of His Excellency.
11 out of the 18 registered political parties in the state, excluding the All Progressives Congress, are contesting for 14 local government chairmanship positions and 147 councillor positions in the state.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's forex reserves maintain an upward trend as level increases to $40.24 billion. Join us again. Welcome back. The curtains are finally raised with music, dance and acting at the ongoing Lagos International Theatre Festival. Troops from different production houses in Nigeria and abroad showcased breathtaking contents across different venues in the city. The opening ceremony on Friday night exhibited colorful performances with a display of excerpts from the schedule, which is expected to run this weekend.
It's opening night for the Lagos International Theatre Festival, and the Black Carpet reception welcomes important personalities, theatre lovers and stage practitioners to a night that will perhaps be a new chapter in the theatrical history of the country. The excitement is evident as the hope of rejuvenating the theatres in Nigeria comes alive, and the lady at the center of it all, Bola Austin Peters, beams with glee, seeing a dream come alive.
It's been long coming, and we're finally here. It's wonderful to be able to bring together the theatre community in Nigeria. And yeah, we're super excited about this.
Today, we gather to celebrate the theatre. We gather to celebrate love on stage.
The chairman of Channels Media Group, Dr. John Mamo, who is also the board chairman of the festival, welcomes the city into the new theatre era.
Through the language of drama, dance, music, and poetry, we will unveil the new age stories that define who we are as individuals and communities. These stories will remind us that art is a universal connector, transcending borders, uniting us in laughter, tears, and reflection. Over the coming days, you will experience performances that challenge your perspective, exhibitions that immerse you in the past and future, and discussions that ignite a spark of innovation and dialogue.
Soon, the stage comes alive, the lights in sync with the actions, while the surround sound envelopes the audience. With 6 listed venues across Lagos, including the Muson Center, Terra Culture, University of Lagos Theatre, and the Glover Hall, among others, the lineup will include productions from Nigeria, South Africa, the United States of America, and Zambia. This opening ceremony bears excerpts of what is to come.
I hope you're not saying what I'm saying. What do you think that?
Now, this festival will go a long way to encourage more producers that will want to have a live performance. When you come to watch live performance, it goes deeper into your head, your entire system, than even the motion picture.
Really a great time to be alive, great time to be a creative, and it's very validating, I think, because we had to be rebels to become artists. So to see us get the recognition and the support and festivals like this, international festivals, and by none other than Madame Bolanle Austin Peters, who I admire and have worked with in the past. So it's just awesome. I'm really, really excited.
The evening also rewarded 3 industry giants. The Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka, whose recognition plaque is picked up by actor Jide Kosoko, veteran actor Bimbo Manuel, and theatre practitioner Segun Adefila.
Creatives in Nigeria's northeast region have also found a place to nurture, polish, showcase and export their talents to global audiences at the annual Northeast Festival of Literature, Culture and Creativity. Now in its 4th year, this year's edition, holding at the Gombe State University, aims to use art to combat climate change in the region. This is against the backdrop of the recent flood disaster that displaced at least 1 million persons in Borno State.
With their brushes, pens and creative voices, these budding and established talents from Nigeria's northeast gather to add their artistic strokes towards addressing climate challenges in the region. The Northeast Festival of Literature, Culture and Creativity has become a safe nurturing space for creatives in the Northeast.
It's important that we begin to teach our children how to take care of the environment. It's very, very critical because in the shortest period of time, the environment will become completely unbearable if we don't do something about it. So this event is important to me that the children have come, the students have come from different states, from different schools to come and participate in a competition that talks about the environment. And just for the fact that they are going to write poems, they are going to write story, they are going to paint about the environment, makes them to begin to think, what are we talking about this climate change issue? What is it? And they ask questions.
We are going to intensify our support for Helema Factor because I could see the participation of public schools in this program today is not as much as I had wanted it to be. And I said I was going to take it up with the Commissioner for Education. I've invited them for a meeting. The Gombe Goes Green project has been going on now for the past 4 years, and we've already taken a lot of initiatives, including issues to tackle forestation and degradation of our forest reserves, and also mining activities. Government has enacted a law where we are going to curtail these activities because the amount of damage that is doing to our environment is unprecedented.
Gombe State University is hosting the 4th edition of the festival. The institution wants states in the region to leverage on these talents to implement policies that care for the environment.
Climate change affects everybody, but let me still go from the perspective of Gombe State University, like our date palm, they blossom. You will not see any single person going there just to say they want to tamper with it. You see animals roaming about freely. That shows our little contributions towards ensuring that we mitigate the effect of climate change. So as it were, climate change is real, there's no doubt about it. We are all being affected, but all of us too can do something in our own little way.
Students from various schools across the region participated in essay writing, painting, poetry and tree planting campaigns.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, have handed over 58 rescued victims of kidnapping, comprising 35 males and 23 females, to the Kaduna State Government in Abuja. The victims, who were rescued from the Birnin-Gwari area on the 14th of November this year, following the successful joint operation of security agencies in collaboration with the Kaduna State Government, are mostly from Gayam, Sabonlayi and Gwaga local government and Damusa local government area of Katsina State. Our correspondent Delio Moyeni reports.
Sir, please open up.
One after the other, the rescued victims file out of the buses that conveyed them to the office of the National Security Advisor. They are received by the representatives of the Kaduna State Government, the Chief of Defense Staff, and the National Security Advisor. The CDS, General Christopher Musa, hails the collaborative efforts that led to the rescue and pledged to sustain the fight in collaboration with all willing partners.
Every security agency is working together, the Nigerian Armed Forces, the Nigerian Police, Civil Defense, even the vigilantes, the local government, the religious leaders, the traditional rulers, Kaduna State, and everyone is giving us the support, and that's how it should be. So in every state, we are calling on every Nigerian to take this as a task that we must succeed, and together we will succeed. The Kaduna State Governor is doing extremely very well. We want to call on other governors to also key in.
The Chief of Staff, Kaduna State Government House, identifies Governor Obasani's non-kinetic approach as key to the success of the operation.
I just want to thank the President, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the National Security Advisor, all the security agencies, and the Governor of Kaduna State. He actually deserves accolade. He did a lot. The religious leaders, the traditional institutions, because security is everybody's business. Let's team up and fight these menace.
Of the 58 rescued, 6 were brought in with serious injuries. However, they have received medical attention and have recovered. Dele Omoyeni for Channels Television News.
The Benue state government has moved to fix the challenges of speculating budgeting of the education sector in Benue state. The State Commissioner for Education and Knowledge Management, Mr. Frederick Ikian, made this known when he represented Governor Hyacinth Alia at the flag-off of the Benue Education Consensus in Makurdi, the state capital.
The Benue state government is making effort to collect data on education in the state as part of efforts to address the physical and social challenges affecting the sector in the state. The state government plans to collect data on the number of public schools, students, teachers, and their demography, which will shape the education budget in the state.
The entirety of Makurdi as a local government is loaded onto the mobile device. We are securing these devices for all our ad hoc staff. They will go to the various schools. Head by head, they will verify the students.
By conducting a comprehensive census of all students and schools across the state, we are taking a monumental step toward building a stronger and more transparent educational system. This exercise will bring several key advantages.
The Benue Education Management Information System will host the data, which will also be used for policy formulation and setting quality standards for schools in the state.
In this year's budget, the state government captured deliberately 15% devoted into education, and that is a departure from what used to be known in the past. This is the first time that we are having such a budget for education, and what we are doing now with this school census, we are seeing that in the next year and the coming years, we are even going to surpass the UNESCO projection of 26% for education.
And what we intend to achieve is that we should have a comprehensive data we can make reference to and that is verifiable. When the international development partners are here to interface with the Benue state government and perhaps render any form of aid, they should verify the statistics that are being reeled out. And now we are IT practitioners. Our interest is that we help the government to achieve their aim from the technical viewpoint.
The state government is planning to allocate 15% of the total budget to education and hopes that the project will ensure value for the funds allocated to education in the state, as well as improve learning outcomes for students.
President Bola Tinubu will be hosting the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is on a state visit at the presidential villa in Abuja tomorrow. According to the statement by the Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to arrive Nigeria today. The Prime Minister's visit to Nigeria will be the first by an Indian Prime Minister since Dr. Manmohan Singh's state visit back in 2007, when the two nations established a strategic partnership. President Tinubu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will seek to strengthen further ties between both countries during their bilateral discussions. Both leaders will also exchange signed memoranda of understanding to enhance collaboration in critical sectors. Winners have emerged in various categories of the 2024 Impact Award, including the Innocent Chukwuma Awards for Social Impact. The annual event, co-hosted by Impact Investors Foundation and Leap Africa, is designed to celebrate individuals and organizations who are changing the world with brilliant initiatives.
It's an evening of glamour and glitz as friends, colleagues, family members come together for the 2024 Impact Awards. The event, co-hosted by Impact Innovators Foundation and Leap Africa, will recognize outstanding people who have devoted time to changing lives.
So that's what we're here for. So I wouldn't take much of your time. What I want you to do tonight is to celebrate with each of these individuals because we are all winners.
I'm particularly happy to be here. I'm very grateful for IIF and all the partners who have allowed us to collaborate, the true testament of what collaboration is.
The day begins with a roll call of honorary awardees, including the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who was represented.
I want to thank the Impact Investment Foundation. I want to thank the National Office for Philanthropy. I want to thank Mrs. Innocent Chukwuma, and indeed everyone that has come this evening to be a part of this event.
Here are the finalists. Next are other nominees and winners, including the Innocent C. Chukwuma Award for Social Impact.
And the winner is Uche Udekwe of Natal Cares. Drum roll.
As the evening winds down, guests enjoy more amazing moments while looking forward to the next edition. Earlier in the day, at the Leap Africa Social Innovators Program, aimed at helping young Africans think through impactful projects, the chairman said Leap Africa is poised to deepen ties and relationships, driving sustainable development and social entrepreneurship across Africa.
Advocacy and thought leadership are things that we believe we have to do to work alongside government in Nigeria and West Africa, and East Africa, and other parts of Africa to change that narrative. And who better than our youth? Bring your incredible ideas. Let's work alongside you to harness those opportunities, change them into bankable ideas, and make a difference in the community. You are our present and our future.
With over 270 social innovators developed so far, 60% of which are making impact and bagging international awards, Leap Africa's quest to expand its portfolio and collaborate more with the government across Africa seems a step in the right direction.
Let's talk about Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves and many more stories from the world of business. Will Ibong is standing by.
Thank you, Anne. Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves have seen a notable increase, climbing by $117.98 million week on week. As of November the 17th, as of November the 14th, the country's gross reserves now stand at $40.24 billion. This growth comes despite the Central Bank of Nigeria's interventions in the foreign exchange market during the week. Actions typically aimed at stabilizing the naira by meeting some of the FX demand. However, analysts caution that this uptick might not ease the naira's volatility just yet. They note that demand for foreign currency continues to outpace supply, creating persistent pressure on the local currency. Now we're checking on domestic stock market now, which experienced mixed trading activity this week. The all-share index rose by 0.5% week on week to close at 97,722.28 points as investors showed buy interest in UBA, GTCO, Flour Mills and Lafarge. Month-to-date and year-to-date returns are in positive territory at 0.1% and 30.7% each. However, trading activity levels were weak as the volume and value declined by 77.1% and 48.4% week on week. On the other hand, performance across sectors was mixed following gains in the banking, insurance, and consumer goods indexes, while the industrial goods and oil and gas indexes settled lower. Leading with a 60% gain, John Holt PLC topped the gainers chart for the week, while DAR Communications PLC led the decline in stocks. The trio of Access Holdings, United Capital, and UBA topped trades by volume. Similarly, the unlisted equities market as the NASD closed the week on a positive note. The NASI rose by over 1% to close at 3,021 points. However, trading activity was negative as the volume traded fell to 8.45 million units, while value dropped to 59.93 million naira. NIPCO PLC emerged top on the gainers leaderboard with a 20.81 uptick, followed by Costain West Africa PLC. Geofluids ushered in the underperforming stocks, dropping by 0.26% to close at 3 naira 89 kobo. This loss made Geofluids feature on the top trades list in the company of 1111 PLC and Afriland Properties. Outside our shores, the parent company of TikTok, ByteDance, says it has valued itself at about $300 billion following a recent share buyback offer. And this comes as TikTok faces potential challenges in the U.S. with a looming deadline to sell or risk a nationwide ban. The U.S. government, citing national security issues, has set January 19th as a deadline for ByteDance to divest TikTok's U.S. operations. The company has responded by suing the bloc, the law signed by President Joe Biden earlier this year. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump has expressed support for TikTok, emphasizing the need for competition in the social media space. With 170 million American users, TikTok remains a key player amid ongoing uncertainty over its future. Our international airline company, as Air Maroc, has given carriers. Now we move on to other stories. Now we're seeing that on a programming note, Fund It Forward, our social enterprise competition show, returns to the screen tomorrow. That's November the 17th at 7 p.m. only on Channels Television. Be sure to join us as it promises to be an exciting one. Now it's back to Anne Nwaudo for the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Will. In the world of sports, Taylor Fritz became the first American since 2006 to reach the title match at the ATP Finals, and that's after winning a Folkfest against world number 2 Alexander Zverev. The 27-year-old fought off numerous breakpoints, a deciding set to win 6-3, 3-6, 7-6. Fritz also ended the 2-hour, 20-minute duels with a stunning forehand winner. And Italy became the first nation through the Billy Young John Kling Cup semi-finals. That's after they beat Japan 2-1 with a deciding straight sets doubles victory. American-born and Japanese player Anna Shibara battled back from a set down to beat 54th-ranked Nociaretto 6-3, 36-64-64 to give the Japan lead on the day. But the tie went to 1-1 after Jasmine Paolini beat 56-ranked Moyuka 6-3, 6-4 in the second singles match to put the Italians on the board. Paolini returned for the doubles with Sara Irani. The pair, who won gold at the Paris Olympics, then dominated to beat the Japanese duo 6-3, 6-4. Anthony Davis scored 40 points to spark the Los Angeles Lakers over San Antonio Spurs 120-115, launching their bid to defend the NBA Cup. The teammate LeBron James made more history after getting a triple-double in a fourth consecutive game for the first time in his 22 NBA seasons. The 39-year-old legend delivering 15 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists over a game-high 38 minutes. Davis, who also grabbed 12 rebounds, won a battle of the big men with last season's NBA Rookie of the Year, Frenchman Victor Wembanyama. Away from sports and outside our shores, at least 10 newborns have died in a fire at a hospital in northern India after a blaze broke out at the neonatal ward. Chaos and panic ensued as the fire spread. Relatives of the infants have told local media that parents breaking windows to enter the ward, scrambling to reach their children. The nurses were pushing people out, but those who managed to get in grabbed any child they could. Staff at the National and Jhansi district of Uttar Pradesh state were able to secure 44 infants, but at least 16 are in critical condition. 3 of the 10 babies who died have yet to be identified, leaving some parents unsure about what happened to their children. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says that he is certain the war in Russia will end sooner than it otherwise would have once Donald Trump becomes U.S. president. Mr. Zelensky said he had a constructive exchange with Mr. Trump during their phone conversation after his victory in the U.S. presidential election. He did not say whether Mr. Trump had made any demands regarding possible talks with Russia, but he said he had not heard anything from him that was contrary to Ukraine's position. Mr. Trump has consistently said that his priority is to end the war, which began with Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, and what he describes as a drain on U.S. resources in the form of military aid to Kiev. And this is to inform our viewers that Channels Television will be keeping tabs and keeping eyes on the governorship election, step-by-step activities there. Our team are on ground at the Ondo State governorship election and will be going live there as soon as election results are being announced. So please stay with us. And the main news again. Collation of results has commenced as residents of Ondo State took to the polls to vote for the next governor of the state. The Chief of Defense Staff and National Security Advisor handed over the 58 rescued victims of kidnapping to the Kaduna State government in Abuja. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Mwawadu. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Good night.